Hi there, folks. I have an invitation for you, but first I have a question for you. Have any of you ever found yourself struggling with an identity that you've labeled yourself with or that you've been labeled with, at least in your mind, and then all of a sudden that identity changed for some reason? Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. When I was in college, I had a knee injury that basically ended my athletic career. All through junior high and high school and a couple of years in college, I identified myself as an athlete. I loved being an athlete. I loved volleyball. I loved basketball and track. And I maybe wasn't the best athlete that ever lived, but I'll tell you what, I had heart. I gave everything I could to being as good as I could be. And then one day, because of this knee injury, all that changed. And I had a hard time with it. I had a hard time with it for months because I had so identified with being an athlete and showing up in the world as an athlete and acting like an athlete and eating like an athlete and talking like an athlete and all those things and having a structured life as an athlete, that when I no longer was one, I had a hard time figuring out what to do with myself. So I had to live in the question, who am I really? And so I think that it's important to have a conversation about three things. And I think it's really relevant for what we all have gone through in the last 3-4 months, depending on your particular situation with this worldwide timeout we've been on and the roles that we've had to pivot and the responsibilities that we've taken on that we didn't used to have. So I think the conversation we can have that will be useful and valuable with each other is one about our identity, and are we willing to change our identity to level up in our lives? Second thing, let's have a conversation about the people, places, and things that you surround yourself with. Do those need an audit of some sort to make you more accountable and to be the best you can be? And the third thing is, what are the standards that you have for yourself? What do I mean by that? What are your standards around your health, your eating and your exercise and your sleep and the things you consume as far as reading and listening to and on the news? What are your standards in your relationship with whomever? Could be a spouse, a significant other, a partner. What are your standards when it comes to money and finance in your life? What are your standards when it comes to your vocation, and how do you show up in that role? So on Tuesday, August 18th, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I'm going to jump on a Zoom call, and I want to have this conversation with all of you. Please join me, because I think it's when we coalesce as a community and we are willing to be vulnerable with each other about some of the challenges that we've had in the last several months and how we can pivot and look at our identity and audit the people, places, and things in our lives and audit our standards. That's when we give ourselves the opportunity to step to the next level of who we are in the world. So jump on and join me. I'm going to have some tips and some suggestions and some exercises and resources that I will share with you that I think will be useful in the conversation. And I also want to hear from you. Maybe some of you have some really good tips and suggestions that you can share with the rest of us. Maybe some of you are really struggling right now and could just use some support and some encouragement and some inspiration. That's what this conversation is going to be about. So please mark your calendars. August 18th, it's a Tuesday afternoon, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I want you to jump on a Zoom call with me and have this conversation. Participate fully in this, because this can make a big difference in your life right now. I will send you an invite to the Zoom call if you will direct message me your email address, and so you'll have the invitation to that. I'll also put a link to the meeting in the post notes today, so you can jump on that call. Don't miss this, you guys. It could be a very important conversation for you, because if you are living a life that feels slow and sluggish and sad and uninspiring, and you're not all that you could be, this is an important conversation for you to join in on. So I will see you Tuesday, August 18th, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Let's do it.